How are we doing?
Now we're live.
Right now? Are we good now? Everyone can see me? Let me make sure I can see you guys. We are cooking live tonight here on the main. I'm Christina. Thank you so much for joining me. We are making crispy beef tacos. Now, I always crave Tex-Mex on Boxing Day because it is fast, it's different from everything I've already had, and it's another kind of big, bold flavor. I'm a fan of bold flavors, what can I say? We're just getting started right now. You guys are probably entering the chat. Good to see you guys. Leah, Amanda, Dave. How we are starting tonight is we are grabbing a wet paper towel, guys. I have just one sheet here. I squeezed it out really, really well, and we want to put it underneath our cutting board. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we want the cutting board to be on our side, and it won't be if it's sliding around all over the place. So grab yourself a wet paper towel, pop it underneath your cutting board, and look, now we have a nice rock solid surface. So I am just gonna make sure, can hear you, can see you. Perfect, guys. If it's your first time joining us for the cook along, we're gonna go nice and slow. I've got all my ingredients out. Got a little glass of wine, guys. Give me, throw a little wine glass in the comments if you guys are also having a beverage tonight. Or maybe Christmas did you in. I don't know, I'm not here to judge. The Hilliers, hello, John, Jess, how's it going? Awesome. If you guys are cooking along, let me know so I can check in with you. We are gonna jump right into it with these crispy beef tacos. First thing I like to do is make my spice rub. Now, a lot of people buy their spice rub at the store in one of those packets, and those are fine, but really you're not going to get as much flavor as you can get if you make your own at home. So once you guys see how easy this is, you're going to be doing this each and every time. So I want you guys to grab a little ramekin. You know I don't normally measure things exact, but I'm doing it tonight for you so you're following, in case you're following along. I've got a tablespoon pulled out because we're starting with 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Now, if you guys got the recipe ingredients before this cook along, it's going to be all of those ingredients right at the top. 1 or 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin. You'll notice my tablespoons are a little bit exaggerated. I always like things on the more flavorful side, so I find that helps. You want 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. This is the secret ingredient, guys. When you are cooking at home, there's some things that you can do to your food that is going to make it taste like it came from a restaurant, or it's going to make it taste a lot better than you're used to. And those are the tricks I show you here on the main. That is what this show is about. So I've got that cornstarch in there. It's gonna help us thicken the sauce so that ground beef is gonna have a really, really nice flavor base. We need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I've got my pink Himalayan. I'm actually gonna start with, oh yeah, that's 1.5. There we go. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. If you're using table salt, I would cut that in half and consider switching out your table salt for something like a kosher or pink Himalayan. It's just really, really salty, and there's just better salts you can use on the market. It also has a really fine crystal, so it just isn't ideal, especially when you're seasoning meat. It's hard to see. So we've got our salt in there, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. Now, you guys will know smoked paprika is one of my absolute favorite things to cook with. I use it in my rotisserie chicken in the oven. If you haven't made that yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. It is so freaking good. This is 2 teaspoons smoked paprika. And if you're wondering if you can use regular paprika, I mean, you can, but I don't find it has very much flavor. Smoked paprika is completely different spice. And coriander. 1 teaspoon coriander. And next, if you like spice, you're gonna go in with the cayenne pepper to whatever degree you want, whether that's 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna go in for just a little 1/4 teaspoon because as you know, my partner in crime behind the scenes doesn't love the spice. I know, we're working on it. We're working on it, guys, I hear you. Once you have the spice mixture mixed up, you can actually put it over by the stove because when we start cooking, we're gonna need that spice mixture. Okay, how's everyone doing? Hillier's cooking. Oh, you're cooking with Ron and Sandra. Awesome. Mike, my sister, is here. Candace, are you cooking tonight? Dave, how's it going? Perfect. You guys are rocking. I know you are. Next, I want you guys to get out your 1 pound of ground beef and put that over by the stove. Also, your cooking oil. I'm using avocado oil because it's a really solid high heat cooking oil. If you're using canola, we always talk about consider switching that out soon. Finish up what you've got and move that along. Avocado oil is phenomenal here. Grapeseed oil, good as well. Just get something that's gonna be good in high heat. Now, taco shells. You guys should have these crispy taco shells on standby. Now, I just buy the Old El Paso ones. They're phenomenal. Take out a tray. You guys want just a regular sheet pan. Anything you have will be good. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, and we're not gonna cover it. I actually don't cover my sheet pan for this because I find it's not necessary. And we're gonna set these taco shells up right on end. If you guys have any questions, type them in the comments below. We are making crispy ground beef tacos, Tex-Mex style, perfect for Boxing Day. And guys, this recipe is so easy. This is a go-to for any night of the week. I can bring this thing together start to finish in, oh gosh, 15 minutes. No time at all. Once you do this once, perfect. These are set. Bring them over to the stove. Just put them near the oven, not in the oven yet. While you're over here, I want you guys to preheat that oven to 325. We are going to bake these shells so that they are perfectly golden brown. They're going to get a little bit crispier. That corn flavor is going to wake up. It's going to be really, really nice. Okay, now we need to do some chopping. What I want you to do is grab your onion, grab your 3 cloves of garlic, and grab yourself a plate. I don't need that big. Grab yourself a small plate. This is gonna be for your mise en place, also known as our cute plate. Make sure you grab that. I'm gonna grab another little plate just for my, my compost. I'm gonna have a sip of my wine. Let me know how you guys are doing. Leah, Jean bought rounded bottoms. Taco shells, rounded bottoms, no problem. I bought the fancy stand-up ones because we're gonna do some photos when we're done. And I just thought that they would look nicer, and they are easier to top and work with. Let me know if you guys are cooking along. Dave, I know you're cooking. The Hilliers, let me know you guys are good because we will proceed. This is so much fun, guys. Thank you so much for cooking with us each and every week. And I have to say, this live stream would absolutely not be possible without Tech Savvy because each and every week, the stream is just absolutely phenomenal. Best prices in the biz. If you guys are in Ontario, make sure you give them a call. I mean, I don't know how we're in full HD here. Is that how we are broadcasting in full HD, full broadcast quality. And there's no skipping, nothing is pixelated, just phenomenal, guys. We are gonna start chopping up this onion. I have chopped off the pole end and I've left the root like I like to do. Leave that root end intact. It'll help us peel the onion. And again, you're gonna see there's a layer that very obviously comes off, and then there's always that layer that you're not quite sure if you should pull off the onion. If you're not quite sure, pull it off because you don't want to eat tough onion. No one wants that. I always say if you wouldn't want to get that piece in your food, don't put it there. Don't hope someone else is gonna get it. Always cook with the best of intentions for yourself. Okay. Now, this does not have to be precise, guys. I am just gonna roll my knife through this. We're doing kind of a medium small dice. So I go in on the end that I cut and I start making kind of medium cuts across the top. Turn the onion around and dice the other way. Now put this onion on your cute little plate. If you're working with a bigger onion, no worries. You're working with a smaller onion, that's fine. Whatever onion you have is gonna work. This does not need to be ultra precise. It's Tex-Mex. Like, what can be more fun and more casual than Tex-Mex? Okay, rock your knife right through this. Beautiful. I think I've got a nice treat in store for you guys next week. Well, I think it's a nice treat, what we're gonna make. Candace is gonna be excited if Candace is watching. Hello, Jessica's here. Okay, so guys, I've got my onion chopped up. We're gonna turn our attention to the garlic. Now, if you're somebody that's like, I really love garlic, I want more than 3 cloves, put more than 3 cloves. But let me tell you, I really love garlic, and I'm putting 3 cloves. So if you're putting more than 3 cloves, I want to warn you, you could compromise the flavor of your dish. Oh my gosh, this onion is strong. It's making me cry. Oh my goodness. I don't know why onions make you cry. It's okay. Rather onions that make you cry than men that make you cry, right? We don't like those. Tell me what you guys got for Christmas. Anything good? Any new kitchen tools? I got a new kitchen tool actually for Christmas and I'm pumped about. It was a new Dutch oven from the Superstore. I know it sounds crazy, but if you guys want like well-priced stuff, that's also good quality. I find President's Choice actually does a good job. Well, until we launch our line of cookware, that is. I'm trying to get some affiliate links down in the description for you guys too. Got to make sure all the links are working, but yeah, we just started working with ThermoWorks. They make some of the best meat thermometers or just thermometers in general for the kitchen. I've probably been through about 20 thermometers myself in my cooking lifetime, and these are the best. They don't break. They read the temperature in 2 seconds, literally in 1 to 2 seconds. That's how quickly it is. Anyways, phenomenal stuff. The garlic is getting a big smash under your knife, and the bigger the smash, the better, because the bigger the smash, the less chopping you're gonna have to do. Get right in there. Oh. Every time I do that, my garlic goes flying on this show. It never does that any other time. Okay. Garlic is smashed, and remember guys, you want to choke up on that knife. We're working on trying to make sure we're using our tools properly. So you'll see that your knife has this little groove, this little divot right here. That's where your index finger goes, and you should be choked up on the knife. My thumb is actually touching the blade right here. My fingers are nowhere near the actual sharp blade, but they are working the top. So I am just going to run my knife through. I don't take the tip of my knife off the cutting board, and I let my knife do all of the work, rocking it back and forth. Take all the garlic off the knife blade and just rock that back and forth. You're going for a fine chop. This looks great, guys. It smells phenomenal. I can smell these spices are wafting up. New Ninja blender. Oh, Candace, I'm jealous. That Ninja blender, I've heard very good things about it. Okay. Again, this doesn't need to be super precise, guys. If you're making this on a weeknight, you got the fam coming through the door, just get this chopped, get it onto the plate. Super simple. Okay. Here we go. So what we're gonna do while we're here, rather than start cooking the meat right away, we're gonna prep all of our toppings for later. Okay, everyone good? Mike's saying he got a bowling ball. I feel like he's joking. Okay, now let's prep our toppings. Get your tomato and get your lettuce. If you're using iceberg lettuce, that's what I'm using today. Now guys, don't at me. I know iceberg lettuce is basically completely void of nutrition, but I love it. I love it for the crunch. I love it for the cool and the kind of the waterlogged effect of iceberg. I find just lends itself extremely well to Tex-Mex. When you're talking kind of fiery, big, bold flavors, having something cool and crunchy really cuts through that. Kind of like last week when we were doing the the barbecue chicken sandwiches and we had that coleslaw, same effect. So I'm just gonna hack a big piece of this iceberg lettuce off. That should be plenty. I'm gonna grab just a little bowl, and I'm gonna show you how I like to chop this lettuce because, as you know, I'm a little bit specific sometimes because I like to think about every bite and every morsel of food you're gonna be eating and how that experience is gonna be. And the iceberg, I like it to be shredded. So what I do is I cut off a big kind of cheek of the iceberg. If you're using romaine, no problem. Get those lettuce leaves, lay them all flat. Callie says I make better tacos than her daddy. Thanks, girl. Lay those romaine leaves flat and shred it the exact same way that I'm about to. This, if you're using cabbage, same thing. Now, what I did is I cut it down the middle lengthwise once so that when we're putting these shreds on our taco, they're not unmanageable. And then what I'm gonna do is take my knife, and I'm gonna use that same knife technique where I'm rocking back and forth. I'm using my knuckles as a guide. My fingers are tucked under. And we got that nice, you hear that? That nice crunch. That's good for me. I love this, guys. I love prepping ingredients like we're at a restaurant. It just, I mean, one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to takeout is delivery. I hate delivery because I don't know how long the food was sitting in someone's car. I know that problem is kind of solved with Uber Eats, but I'm also very value focused and I'm not about those surcharges. So that's why I like to cook takeout at home like we order takeout. At least then I know it's hot, I know what's in it. Usually it tastes better because you made it according to your own taste. Beautiful. Look at this. Holy moly, look at this lettuce, it's perfect. Okay, I'm putting this lettuce in my bowl. And guys, serve this up as fancy as you want. If you have one of those fancy like platters where you can arrange everything super cool, get in there, like do it up. Make it like you've ordered the takeout. Tomato is next. I am pulling this little top off of the tomato, and same thing, I'm just gonna give it a dice. So the way I like to dice a tomato is I like to start at the opposite end of where the top is, and about 1 centimeter in, make my first cut. Now you'll see, you're like, oh my God, she's cutting that she's cutting that tomato with a straight blade. If you do not have sharp knives, one, click the link below for my knife sharpener. It's phenomenal. It's foolproof. I love it. Actually, I'll show it to you really quick. Literally anyone can use this thing. You don't have to worry about weird angles or anything like that. It's phenomenal. I love it. So this thing, first of all, will allow you to cut anything all the time. Your tools will always be sharp. Second of all, if you don't have a super sharp knife, grab a serrated knife. It'll avoid your tomato ending up like tomato juice on your cutting board. But you'll see, like, I sharpen this knife. Oh, perfect, oven's preheated. I sharpen this knife probably every 3 or 4 times I use it. And then it always cuts professionally. I mean, if you guys want to be turning out good professional quality food, you need some tools. It doesn't need to be expensive tools. It just needs to be the right ones. So I'm going to take this tomato, stack it all up because I'm all about efficiency and making less cuts, and just start slicing through it through the top. And then the other way, creating cubes of tomato. How are you guys doing? Any questions? Dave, Monique, how are you doing? Jess, John, Sandra, let me know. I want to make sure I didn't lose you. Next thing we're going to prep is our jalapenos. Super simple. Pickled jalapenos. Just get them into a little dish. Again, like, this is fun. This is Saturday night. This is like takeout. Make it like the restaurant. I love pickled jalapenos for this. They bring a brightness, a freshness. Jalapenos are not the hottest pepper on the planet. So man up, get in there. It's probably not politically correct. You get it. Okay, there we go. Next, cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. You guys know I'm a huge advocate for what would we call it? What do I like to do? Save calories where we can. If something's not bringing the flavor and it's a high calorie item, I usually find a way to either reduce it or ixnay it completely. Like when I'm cooking, everything needs to bring something to the party. And in this dish, in our crispy beef tacos, Tex-Mex style, you cannot avoid the cheese. I'm using Monterey Jack today. And when I show you guys how to build these tacos, I'm telling you, well, I think I have the best way to build the tacos, of course. If you've seen the way I eat a burger, you know that. So what I'm doing here for the cheese is we're just gonna grate it on the large holes of a box grater. And when we build our tacos, I like to put the cheese on the bottom so that it melts with the heat of the meat. And the most important thing when you're grating your cheese is to try it first. Come on, you knew that was coming. The cookies first, guys. A little cheese. Leah found the pickles, perfect. Slicing and dicing, perfect, guys. Everyone's doing good. Look, I got a little wine, I got a little cheese. This is good. This is a rockin' Saturday night. Thank you for joining us, guys. We have another cook-along coming up next week. And then there's a small hiatus because we're just wiped, guys. We work full time. I'm grating this on the holes of a box grater. And I'm about to get very real with you guys. I believe there is a right way and a wrong way to grate cheese. Courtney, if you're in the live stream, you will laugh. Leah, you will laugh, I'm sure. I believe the right way to grate cheese is not by rubbing your cheese up and down on the box grater. Now, this is what I like to do. I like to go down, remove your cheese from the box grater to go up. Some people do this motion. That's when you end up with melted cheese on your box grater. If you've ever grated cheese at my house, I know I'm gonna sound crazy right now, but I've trained you how to grate cheese for one of my recipes. I also give you plenty of accoutrement and beverages, so I'm not like a slave driver. But I've definitely, I'm not ashamed that I've done cheese grating tutorials at my island in the middle of a party before. It's just how it is. And this end part, very important again, you wanna make sure you eat it. Oh my gosh, guys, Monterey Jack is so freaking good. It's like, it's creamy, but it has a lot of flavor. You know I'm not a huge fan of like supermarket mozzarella. It has no flavor. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this on the cutting board, but put it over to the side. Oh yes, yes, yes. Just beautiful. Good luck not eating all of the cheese. I would recommend you grate extra. That's a pro tip. What happens if you're eating all the ingredients before it's ready? Yes, we got to it right before you mentioned it, Dave. That's okay. Cut more, that's why we eat at home. And if you drink all your wine before it's ready, just pour more. Excellent. I did not drink this whole bottle tonight. No, I'm not hammered. Okay. Next thing, get your broth ready. We need 1 cup of beef broth. Bring that to the stove. If you're using lentils, you want to double the amount of liquid. You can make this completely vegan if you want by just subbing the beef broth for vegetable broth, not using cheese or using a vegan cheese, and you can get a vegan yogurt for your cool and creamy. Either way, like it's super, super easy to make this vegan. Let's see. Yes. One of my secret tips, I mentioned earlier, calorie saves are my favorite. I love sour cream. I also love Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is a phenomenal substitute for sour cream. This is non-fat Greek yogurt. Nearly no difference, especially not when you're topping your food off with all of this other great stuff. So I'm just gonna set that aside and we are gonna get ready to go to the stove. So Bring your drink to the stove. You got your meat there. Get yourself a saucepan like this. This is a 3-inch deep saucepan. You can use nonstick, you can use stainless steel. I wouldn't use a cast iron for this, but we're about to bring this together all in one pot. Make sure you bring your onion and your garlic to the stove. Oh, heck yes, this is gonna be great. Everyone good? Only have mushroom broth. Mushroom broth is fine, that'll work. That sounds delicious. I will, okay, yeah, let's bring you guys to the stove. Okay. So first thing we want to do at the stove is preheat to medium high. I'm going to go on number 8. I've got my onion, my garlic ready. We have our spice mix, our beef, our oil, beef broth, wine, of course, that's just for drinking, and our taco shells are on standby. You also want to get something to break up your meat. So I'm using a wooden utensil that has a flat edge. You can use a wooden spoon, whatever works for you. Let me grab this so I can see your comments. What a nice Saturday night, guys. Thank you so much, Tech Savvy, for keeping us rocking with this live stream. We appreciate it. Oil on standby. I can smell these spices. They're phenomenal. All they're doing is sitting here. Like, imagine just how flavorful this is going to be when we get cooking. Tell me how your Christmas was, guys. Was Santa good to you? We don't really do gifts too much in our family, but Santa did bring me that nice Dutch oven pot, and I was really happy about that. It was beautiful. It had this enameled inside, like super non-stick. This is good. We're waiting for this to come up to temperature. Tell me what you guys want to see next week or future weeks of cook along. I do have an idea for next week. Like I said, Candace will probably be excited. There was a cook along that we did in the summer, and it was our most popular cook along. So that's a small hint. It was very popular, and we have not had a chance to record it for the show yet. So this will be next week. If you are looking for a week to cook along, you've never cooked along before, you're not going to want to miss it. It's really spectacular. Okay, this is good. So when we're about halfway done cooking this meat, guys, we're going to put these taco shells in. Oh, that's sweet, Monique. She says Dave spoiled her beyond belief. I'm gonna start by adding my oil to the pan. 1, 2, I'm doing 2 turns of the pan. You guys know I love to measure my oil in turns of the pan. It's about 2 tablespoons, 1.5. Use what you have. If you are using extra lean ground beef, it's not gonna release a whole lot of fat, so you might need a little extra oil. If you're using medium ground beef, you can use less oil. If you're using chicken is usually pretty lean. You're gonna need the same amount of oil. And we're gonna let this come up nice and hot. Perfect. And we're gonna start with these onions. Get those onions in. I always like to start on high and kind of bring it back to medium. So I'm turning my heat down to medium right now so we can cook. Oh, this smells phenomenal. Sauteing onions is just one of those small, beautiful things. You always know good things are gonna go down. And just let this hang out for a second. After these onions have gotten nice and translucent, we don't need to get any color on them. We're gonna add the garlic, but for only 20 seconds to wake up that garlic flavor, and then we're gonna add the beef. And we're gonna cook the beef almost all the way before we add the seasoning. And I'll walk you guys through why we're doing all of that. And this is super easy to prep in the day. You can cut these onions ahead of time. You can do the garlic ahead of time. I wouldn't recommend, pre-chopped garlic or anything like that. It has some weird things in it, guys. Just get really good at doing your garlic fast or outsource it to a child or a partner. I find that helps. If you're cooking by yourself, throw on a YouTube video like here on the main or a movie, and I just like mindlessly cook. It's phenomenal. Oh yes. So look, my onion is nice and translucent. It doesn't have, I can see a couple pieces getting a little bit of color, and that's fine. If you forget about this on the stove, that's okay too. I get in nice and close to show them. There we go. How are you guys doing? Pizza. Oh, Leah wants to see a pizza. I know, guys, I figured out, so see, I'm gonna add my garlic now. Just before any color starts to develop, I'm adding the garlic. What was I saying? Oh yes, pizza. Stir that garlic in. Make sure all the garlic is touching the heat of the pan, releasing its flavor. I have a really, really banging pizza dough recipe right now that I'm working on, guys. But it's a little bit like, well, it's not, I don't find it involved, but I just don't want to overwhelm anybody. Okay, phenomenal. Oh, this garlic smells so good. Next, this garlic has been in here less than 20 seconds. I'm adding my beef. I've been pretty impressed, guys, with the organic beef at Costco. It's a really good price. So I'm getting this beef in here, and I'm using my spoon, my scraper tool, to break it up, push it down into the pan. This is beautiful. Just keep mixing it, keep stirring it, keep pushing it into the pan, getting those onions off the side. And once you kind of get everything in a single layer, I like to just push everything into the bottom. Get it into that single layer. And don't worry, we will break all of this up. Beautiful. I'm going to turn my heat up to medium-high on number 8. Candace thinks she knows what we're making next week. I can almost guarantee you are right, my friend. We got to do it for the newbies. They need to know. They need to know about it. This beef just is going to hang out right now in the bottom of this pot. Wow, this smells so good. Please tell me how your kitchen is smelling right now. If you are cooking along, I'm going to give this a stir. This might not develop any color, guys. I don't know who is perpetuating this rumor that it is easy to get color on ground beef. It's not. It releases liquid. The onions have liquid. Anytime you have liquid in the pan, you're not going to get brown flavor. It's just not going to work. So don't worry about it. Just get that heat up so we're evaporating as much of the liquid as possible. You know, it's funny, now that I'm standing here, I cleaned this backsplash really well, but I still see splatters of sauce on it. Because last night I cooked a super delicious, super traditional Italian food called braciola, and it was phenomenal. It's this kind of a thinly pounded steak that is wrapped up with like cheese and parsley and garlic, and you cook it in this tomato sauce. Let me know if you guys want to see a recipe for that, because whew, that was fire. Absolute fire. Okay. So I'm still hearing boiling. I'm hearing liquid in the pan. What you want to listen for is more of a searing sound, and that will happen when all of the liquid evaporates. So let it go, let it cook, it'll happen. Time for more wine while we wait. Absolutely. Make sure you're getting in there. I don't know, you got a wine on the go, you got a beer on the go. Would it be great if we had a wine sponsor? Maybe. Hit us up. Like a boxed wine. If you got a boxed wine, we would love to have you sponsor the show. I just feel like it's very practical. I'm all about practical, and I feel like that would be good. If you don't have beef broth, I'm sure you could throw half a beer in here and it would be phenomenal. Now, I can hear that I'm getting less boiling and more sizzling. So I'm gonna scrape everything up. I always like to shake my pan while I turn. I find it to be a more efficient way of mixing. Make sure you scrape everything off the bottom, guys, everything. And make sure you're still separating those big chunks of beef. You want the chunks to be small to medium size because they need to fit into the taco shell. Now, you should have a drink on the go. Your beef should be simmering and sizzling. I want you, at your next opportunity, to put your shells, your taco shells, in the oven. And I'm gonna set my timer for, you guys know I don't have the hottest oven, so I'm gonna count on it here to bring me home. I'm gonna set it for 7 minutes, so I'll keep an eye on that. You guys, keep an eye on that 7 minutes. Keep sauteing that beef. We want it all to be browned, to have no more red color left. And we're gonna stand by, everyone, with your spice mixture. Cheers, everyone. Stand by with your spice mixture and your beef broth. Once you see that there's not a lot of liquid in the bottom of the pan and the beef is all brown, there's no red beef left, that's when you can add your spice mixture. So I'll get you guys to come in close and see how mine is looking right now. You'll see when I tip the pan, I still have a lot of liquid coming out. That means I need to keep going. So I'm gonna let this keep simmering. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to add my spice mixture and have it boil away in the bottom of the pot. I want it to toast. Oh, my sister's cooking along. I didn't realize. That's awesome. I'm almost out of wine. This is a travesty, people. I should have thought this through. I'm usually prepared. It's okay. We're almost done. All right. If you guys can hear this on my mic, you will hear a very distinct sizzle. That's because all of my liquid in the bottom of the pan has evaporated. I'm gonna turn my heat down to medium, number 5. Let's come show them that everything really did evaporate. When I tilt my pan to the side, I just have some juices that are there, and that's fine. But we're much drier in the pan. And I'm going to add my spice mixture now. Don't worry if you're like, am I adding it too soon? Am I adding it too late? Guys, you cannot screw this up. It's Tex-Mex. People were drunk when they were developing the recipes, I think. I mean, I hope so. This is like drunk people food, no? All my spices are in, and I want to make sure everything is coated in that spice mixture and touching the bottom of the pan at some point, because we are toasting the spices. We're waking up the flavor. Anytime you toast spices in fat, it wakes up the flavor. We want to maximize the amount of flavor. You'll see some sticking on the bottom of the pan. That's normal. Let it stick. When we put in that beef broth, it's going to bubble up like crazy, and it's going to, everything on the bottom of the pan will come up. Don't let anything get dark. If things are happening too quickly or getting too dark, add your broth right away, scrape everything off the bottom, you're okay, you're fine. All right, this is toasted for about 30 seconds. The flavor is next level, I can smell it. I'm gonna go in with my beef broth. Here we go. Oh wow, you could hear that sizzle right away. I'm gonna use that sizzle, scrape everything off the bottom of your pan. Guys, because of the cornstarch, this was that secret. This is gonna thicken up and make a beautiful sauce. If you cooked along with us before and you made our enchiladas, you know how beautiful a nice thick Tex-Mex sauce can be. Okay, cornstarch needs to be brought up to a simmer in order to thicken. So I'm gonna leave this on medium. And I'm going to let this simmer. I can smell these taco shells. Holy moly, the corn is just waking right up. Hey, Carson. Carson from The Blend is here. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Leah almost poured her wine into the pan. Good to know you're drinking wine again. Leah had a baby a few months ago. This is simmering away. It's gonna thicken. Let it reduce. Let some of that liquid boil away because it's going to intensify. When you intensify this liquid, the flavors intensify. We don't want any boring, bland flavors here. I'm grabbing one of my trusted little espresso spoons. You guys know I love these espresso spoons for tasting in the kitchen. If you actually click the link in the bio, it'll take you to these exact ones. I think they were actually out of stock. Did you guys buy them out of stock? Is that what happened? Maybe that's why. I'm gonna give this a try. Now, I'm trying this and I'm noticing it's a little bit under seasoned. The flavors didn't jump out at me exactly as I wanted. So I'm going to season with just an extra sprinkle of salt. Probably about another 1/4 teaspoon. That's why it's important to try it, guys. Give it a try. Make sure everything is tasting good. If the flavors don't punch you in the mouth, you need more salt. If you added the exact same amount that I did, give it a try. I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna use the same spoon because it's my food. I know it's COVID, but this is mine. Oh, perfect. Yum, yum, yum. That is so good. Okay, I'm gonna let this simmer. I've seen my taco shells are almost done. So your taco shells are probably almost done. If you put them in at the same time as me, oh yes. You should smell them, guys. Use your senses in the kitchen. Listen for the sizzling. Use your nose to smell when things are almost ready. It's just like when you're toasting nuts in the oven or for anything. The second you smell them, they're almost done. So this is nearly done. You guys are almost ready for dinner. This is phenomenal. Guys, look how thick this got. This is awesome. This has gotten nice and thick. We have a beautiful sauce. And guys, like I said, you can do this exact same recipe with ground chicken, ground turkey, lentils. Lentils, you need to double the liquid. Green lentils specifically is what you want to use for this. If you're using red lentils, make sure you do not overcook them because they go to mush. You could do this with, really any other kind of ground meat too. If you know ground meats like deer, bison, anything like that. I'm taking out my taco shells. I'm gonna turn off my taco meat. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. Nice and easy, low cleanup. Because your family is gonna love this. Super quick. If you wanna see how I do my fajitas, I do a homemade tortilla. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. It's a flour tortilla. I haven't bought flour tortillas since I started making my own. I learned from a really nice woman. Her name is Simply Mama on YouTube, and she's Mexican American. And she makes tortillas the way that her grandmother did it. She taught me how to do it. So I guess I make tortillas like her Mexican grandmother. Gotta love the internet. So I can definitely show you guys how to do that. I have definitely nailed it, and I don't think it takes too long, and I think it's totally worth it. This meat is done. I'm turning it off. Everything is done here. We're going to come back over to the cutting board. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Oh, we're interested. You guys are interested in tortillas. Good. I'm gonna come back over to the cutting board so that I can start to plate up these tacos. Ooh, look at this. Look at this meat, guys. The star of the show. Absolutely the star right there. grab my phone, make sure I can see your comments, grab my wine, which is empty now. I should have been a fortune teller, I tell you. Okay, I'm excited. I am very excited. I feel like I have to have a cuter, you know what plate I have? Oh, it's like a little Mexican plate. Okay. This is so hot. I'm gonna burn my mouth. I can't eat this. I always eat it for you guys. I can't. I'll just eat the cheese. Turn off the oven. Oh yes. Normally I would line these up. I like to make them one at a time. Truth be told, because I like that crispy factor to stay there with the shell. Let me know how you guys are doing. Make sure you're along with me. Now, if you want to know the expert way to build a taco, get in here. I'm going to show you. You want to take your cheese and lay it in the bottom. Be generous. This is not the time to be skimpy. You want to lay that cheese in the bottom. Next, you want to take your sour cream or your Greek yogurt and paint it along the side of the shell. You see that? Paint it right along the side of the shell. I told you I was going to be meticulous about this. You know, I forgot I need hot sauce. Oh yes, which hot sauce should I get? This one right here. This habanero. Okay. So, I'm going to take the taco meat with sauce in the bottom, and I'm going to spoon it on top of that cheese. Oh yeah. This is gonna melt that cheese. I told you guys I was meticulous about it. I'm sorry. Not sorry. I like to put my tomatoes on next. Right in here. Look at this rock solid internet. Tech savvy coming through. I love it. All right. Now, let's do our jalapenos. I think these are a must. We get the pickled flavor. I'm going to show you guys. You had a request for me to show you how I do my pickled red onion, and I will show you that. If you're a glutton for punishment, get your hot sauce on there. Lettuce right at the end. You know I always got to get something green. Look at this. Ha! Who's a Tex-Mex hero now? Heck yeah. Get in there, guys. It's dinner. It's time to eat. Guys, your kids will love this. Your husband will eat this up. Your wife will love you forever. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to show you the last meticulous thing I do. I cradle this thing like a little baby. If you're not cradling your food like a baby, I don't know what you're doing. Next thing, you never tilt the taco, you tilt your head and you go in. Oh, my friends. Oh. I gotta sign off because the second rule of eating taco, other than tilting your head, is you can't put it down once you've picked it up. Guys, thank you so much for joining me to make these delicious, crispy beef tacos, Tex-Mex style. I am Christina. I hope you're subscribed. I hope you will like this video as soon as we post it. And you, my friends, are here on the Main. Have a great Saturday night. Oh my God. That melted cheese.